Hi, I'm Hugh Whitmore. I'm the author of the Three Madelines novel series for middle graders, and today's topic is what Christian parents will love about the Three Madelines books. The first thing is that I write my novels with great intention. And the first intention is that they be fun. A novel should be fun, enjoyable, a place you can go to over and over, like a vacation spot or a favorite chair, and enjoy that thing for the time that you're putting into it. It should be fun, enjoyable. The characters should be fun. I think I've accomplished that with the Three Madelines. The main character, Madeline Stinson, has got a great heart. She's a leader. She's always trying to do the right thing. She forgets some things and falls into some trouble, but she learns some lessons and overcomes them. And so it's fun for your middle graders to learn and grow with Madeline and enjoy her and her two best friends, who are also named Madeline, and that's where the Three Madelines comes from. They're also very close, and they go through the ups and downs of life together. They sometimes fall apart, but they come together, and they overcome problems, and they get out of situations, and they have a lot of fun times together. So first of all, my first intention is that it be fun, and I think I've accomplished that with these books. The second intention that I put into it is that, for my novels, is that they be exciting. And there's a lot going on. They're outdoors a lot. They're accomplishing a lot of things. They're in sports. They're in activities. They're in different locations. It's great excitement. I have huge, crazy endings that you can never see coming from a mile away. So there's a lot of excitement in these novels too. And it builds to that all the way through the novels. So we have fun and we have excitement. The third thing, and I'm starting to get closer to my topic today, is that they be acceptable. It's my intention that my novels be acceptable, which means there's nothing weird, there's nothing heavy or creepy or difficult. There's tension, because if you don't have tension, you don't have a novel. There are problems to overcome. And for example, there's bullies in a couple of cases, and how they're dealt with is a great part of the fun and the excitement. There are tensions with parents, but there's nothing that you couldn't, for example, I've always said these are for middle graders, but you can read them to your younger kids as well. There's nothing that would be embarrassing between you and your younger kids, and there's nothing that you have to worry about for your middle graders to read them. So they're acceptable, no swear words, nothing weird, no weird juxtapositions or weird things you have to worry about for your kids there. So they are acceptable reading. And so now let's get into the faith part of it. And the great intention I bring to the faith element in the Three Madelines is that I have a very, very specific belief about how children are to be raised with the knowledge of faith. And I'm talking, of course, about the faith of the Bible, which is my faith. And there should be two ways it's done with children, two separate and distinct ways, both going on at the same time. There should be the direct teachings which go on from the Bible, whether it's through the family or through teachers. And that's one thing, and that's set aside, and that's more holy time. But then there should be a parallel thing going on in a child's life, if you want to bring them up in the faith, where there's a culture of Christianity, a background, how you treat each other in the family, that faith is made aware that it's an object in the family, of how you choose friends, of how you comport yourself in public, that maybe you have a church life. Not everybody has a church life, and it's not necessary to have a culture of Christianity, but a church life is a place for that. And so what I believe my books do, and it's a great intention, is to have that culture of Christianity present. These books are not about religion and not about faith. They're about children, young people, living out their lives, and a part of which is important to them, and that's faith. It's in the background. So let me give you some examples. In the first book, one of the first things is there's an argument between Madeline and her mother, about her friends, and she reminds her mother that, hey, these are two people, they're from our church. So that's dropped in there. And then later, when she meets her new friends, when she grows to know these new friends, the other two Madelines, and it becomes the Three Madelines, they invite her to their church. And so there's some social life going on there. The same thing rolls over into the second book, where the social life of the main characters not revolve around the church, but does happen and takes place at the church as well. And one of the secondary characters plays in the worship band at the church. So that's in the background. And there's a very strong supporting character, an older woman in the second book named Mrs. Cranston. She is also at the church. So this is happening. In the third book, faith becomes quite an element in saving a broken family relationship. So it isn't front and center, but it's running through, something you can count on to support the culture of faith for your youngster. So that's done with great intention, sprinkled about, kind of taken for granted in a way almost. I don't take faith for granted, I do put it in my books, but what I mean is it's in there, it's an element in the plot, in the story, for your youngsters to read and absorb and have as a piece of their foundational morality. So I write that with great intention, and all of my books have that. So, one other thing. So when my main character, Madeline Stinson, gets into each book, there's a big jam and a big problem that has to overcome, just a common thing that happens in novels. And she does pray for strength at those times. So there it is. That's how I weave it in. I think you'll be pleased with that. It's not overly done, and but it's there, and I think you'll like it. It's even something, if you have a good relationship over this topic with your youngsters, you can discuss with them and ask them what they think about that from the Three Madelines books. So it's woven in. I think you'll like it. I think you'll feel comfortable. It isn't overly done, but it's there. So I think it's a good teaching tool as well as a good tool for moving along the plot of an enjoyable, fun, and exciting novel series.